What's up, guys? Welcome back to Daily Riot, and we got another banger for you. It looks like Clarissa Ward, the reporter that worked for CNN, or still does, I think. Actually, I don't know if she's been fired yet. But it looks like the accusations of her staging that prisoner that they released, or that she saved out of the cell just recently, if you guys recall that, this happened a few days ago. She mysteriously landed in a prison and saw this one guy locked in a cell while everyone else was gone, and she saved him. And it was basically shown to be a victim, and how a heroic deed it was for her to save this man. The whole thing was staged, of course. The internet saw this and accused her of it. But now we get actual reports that, yes, indeed. But not only was it staged, there's something even more insane to the story. Turns out the man was a regime torturer. He was an Assad regime torturer. He was an intelligence officer of the Air Force in Assad's army, and a notorious torturer, one of the worst human beings that could ever exist, right? Well, maybe Clarissa Ward is worse than he is, because she's the one who not only staged herself freeing this man, saving him from the prisons, right, but also lied about the whole thing. So, here's the story. Prisoner CNN helped free from Syrian prison was actually notorious Assad regime torturer. The prisoner CNN helped free from a secret facility in Syria was actually a notorious member of Bashar al-Assad's forces, known to torture those who refused to pay him off, according to a shocking local fact check. Yeah, this is nuts, guys. The network went viral last week with footage of the startled prisoner being led from the prison by journalist Clarissa Ward, who called it one of the most extraordinary moments I have witnessed in her 20 years of reporting. But independent and unbiased fact checkers Verify published a detailed report Sunday saying that seemingly innocent prisoner was actually Salama Mohammed Salama, a first lieutenant in Syrian Air Force intelligence with a long history of alleged war crimes. Yes, and he was freed by this piece of crap human being, this one, Clarissa Ward, who has been caught on numerous occasions doing exactly similar things to this, where she's fabricated stories, pretended to save people, pretended like she was being fired at. I mean, and she's been busted on multiple occasions. If I was her, I would crawl under a rock and never come out. I mean, doesn't this person have any shame? Doesn't she feel any kind of embarrassment for these lies that are easily verifiable? And she's just been caught so many times. How many times is she going to do this? Here's the crazy thing. There's no repercussions. No one's doing anything about this. You know, these people need to go to prison. They need to go and do some time for actually spreading disinformation. Remember how they were the side that was like, well, you know, there's too much misinformation out there, too much disinformation. We need to do something about this and punish these people. Maybe we should take their advice and actually punish them for doing this kind of stuff. Because oddly enough, they seem to be the party that was doing most of the misinformation and disinformation. Do you guys remember 2020? Because I do. I mean, my memory's not that short. But let's check this out here. So, we have subsequently been investigating his background and are aware that he may have given a false identity. CNN trying to do damage control now. We didn't know. You know, they reported initially that they rescued a poor victim. But now it's, well, he may have lied to us. Maybe you guys should have said something like, we don't know who this man is. We don't know who we just let out of a prison, who had perfectly manicured nails, who claimed to be locked in solitary confinement for months, walks out. He doesn't even squint his eyes when the sun hits it. I mean, this is stuff that's just, it's amateur. Anyone watching this could have told you that. And the internet did. Guys, the internet came out and said, this is bullshit. Okay? And, you know, it turned out to be bullshit. That's right. 2 days later, after they released this, now CNN's busted, and we're investigating ourselves. I wonder what the investigation is going to prove. That these people who are guilty of fabricating a story, staging an entire thing like this, What do you think they're going to do? Say, yeah, we lied to you. We fabricated it. We staged it. You think that's what they're going to say? No. They're going to say, oh, we didn't know. He lied to us about his identity. We were still doing the right thing as far as we could tell. You know, that's how they twist it. You know, that's how snakes work. Even after you've caught them red-handed, there's still a way for them to try to slip out. You know, they slither away somehow. And the thing is, if CNN had done this once, you know, or twice even, 3 times, let's say, you know, with the number of stories they're putting out there, let's just say they got caught doing something like this a few times here and there. It's like, okay. But it's constant. These people do nothing but lie. It's either straight up lies like this, like absolute fabrications theater, like lies all the way through. Or if it isn't lies like that, it's obfuscation of facts. They leave certain facts out of stories. It's reframing of the story to tell a narrative that they want to tell. The truth never comes out of this network. And that's probably why they're dying. I mean, the Cartoon Network is actually beating them in ratings right now. Guys, CNN is being beat out by the Cartoon Network. It looks like traditional media it's over. They're gone. And doing things like this, desperate things, to try to gain, you know, I could probably see how the board meeting went down for this. They're like, you guys need to drum up some viewership, so get out there and do some extreme crap and try to make it happen. And so, you know, people like this piece of crap human being went out there and thought, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. And, well, it didn't fly. It didn't fly. That's what I assume happened. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see more of this kind of stuff. But so let's continue here. So he also did not flinch or blink even when gazing up at the sky, despite having said he had not seen sunlight for 3 months. Verify Psy then found that there was no record of Adel Gerbal in the region. That's what he claimed his name was. Leading it to his true identity, Salama, the outlet said, known as Abu Hamza. Salama worked at several security checkpoints in Homs and was involved in theft, extortion, and coercing residents into becoming informants for Assad. Ooh. He also killed civilians during the Syrian civil war in 2014 and allegedly detained and tortured young men on bogus charges, many of whom refused to pay bribes. Locals claim he was locked up in prison where he was discovered for less than a month due to a dispute with a high-ranking officer over sharing the extorted money. Well, that's how it goes down. A den of snakes. The prisoner holds tightly onto CNN reporter Clarissa Ward's arm as he led out. Yeah, I mean, this was one of the funniest parts, you know? I was like, why is the camera zooming in on that to show that? You know, the entire thing, the level of staging that took place was comical. And, you know, if you couldn't see it, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think a child would be able to see that. No one other than the CNN team was aware of our plans to visit the prison building featured in our report that day. The events transpired as they appear in our film. Yeah, I don't think so. The struggling news network was also forced to defend Ward's work last year. Yeah, they are struggling. It's over for them. When she was accused of staging a report near the Israeli-Gaza border showing her and her crew hitting the crowd amid a barrage of rocket strikes. Yeah, that's basically... Let's see, where is that? Here it is, guys. Let's check this out. This whole thing was staged. And she tried to pretend like they were getting hit with rockets.
Clarissa is on the ground right now. Clarissa, tell us what's happening.
Stand by.
Hi, John. So forgive me, I have a slightly unelegant position, but we have just had a massive barrage of rockets coming in here, not too far from us. So we have had to take shelter here by the roadside. We're just about 5 minutes away. Gaza is in that direction. We can hear now a lot of jets in the sky. We could also hear the Iron Dome intercepting a number of those rockets as they were whizzing overhead and making impact in that direction, not too far from here. We came to this location because this was ground zero for this entire operation of carnage. Hamas militants came on a pickup truck. This was the first place where they breached that border wall, and they basically drove down this strip just spraying lead wherever they went. We saw, in fact, I was just grabbing it before that happened and we had to hit the deck, but heavy weaponry being used. It's saying we can get up now.
Yeah.
Where are we moving to? Sorry, just one second.
So this entire thing was fabricated. There was no rockets anywhere near her. She just basically decided to lay down on the side of the road and pretend to start breathing heavily and acting like, oh, we're in danger, while she's reporting, as if like she's one of those, the real journalist that goes out there and gets into the war. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, she's ultra pro-Zionist and basically spreads false news that way. They didn't cover it, but if you guys were wondering where the story came for like the war that started just recently in Israel with Palestine, you guys remember the whole story with the babies? I don't want to say what it was because YouTube's safe, but do you guys remember there was babies that had lost, parts of themselves? You guys remember that story, which turned out to be 1,000% fake? Well, it kind of got spread by a reporter. It was a reporter that said she spoke with the IDF, and the IDF told her that information. Well, guess who that reporter was? That's right, it was this piece of crap right here. Yep, same piece of crap, spreading more lies. It's just never ending. And of course, CNN. And they're defending her. Instead of firing this piece of crap for lying to the American people, they're defending her. Well, is it any wonder that CNN is losing to the Cartoon Network? That's right, fellas. Anyways, I felt like I needed to bring this story of redemption that the internet redeems itself. The people discover things. They do better investigation than these journalists who are supposed to be investigative journalists. The internet does a better job and exposes the corruption in mainstream media. So, you know what I have to say? Kiss it goodnight. You guys are done. Mainstream media is over. Over. Now, remember one more thing before I go. These people, they're not just going to walk away, okay? They got a ton of money still. A lot more than people like me or, the Quartering or Tim Pool or any of all these people that have YouTube channels. These people have billions of dollars. So what their next move is most likely going to be is entering this space. They're probably going to set up a bunch of YouTube channels. They're going to dump tons of money behind their channels. And, you can buy views. So they can force their media down people's throats and pretend like they're not mainstream anymore. They're going to sneak in under the radar and try to act like they're alt media. That's going to be their next move. So Tim Pool also predicted this, and it's the obvious move for them to make because their entire empire of mainstream news is done. Anyways, guys, leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. If you found it entertaining or informative, like it and subscribe to the channel. All right, until the next one.